booed him.
Meanwhile, the Thunder followed up a Friday loss to the Rockets, Sunday loss to the Lake Show. SGA walked into the narrative of a playoff whistle as he made one free throw over those 2 games. Was OKC's performance more fluke or flaw?
It was flaw. And I've been saying it all year. Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong. I doubt it, but they got 2 flaws to me as far as winning this championship this year. One, their youth. And I've talked to, and it's not just youth, it's lack of experience. They have one postseason run together. One.
And it's a short run.
It's short. They won 1 playoff series.
Right.
I don't know how far you'd have to go back to see a team that won 1 playoff series together before their championship year.
Well, the 08 Celtics are weird because they had won 0.
Yeah, and
I
don't even count it because it's totally different.
Yep.
So that is an issue. You can go through the history of the league, and the last team that won, championship teams either have veterans, they're a bunch of veterans, or they've been through playoff hell together. They've Jordan, LeBron, guys, you mentioned that Celtics team. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Garnett had all had plenty of playoff losses. All right, years where they thought they could win it and they didn't. This team has none of that. To find a championship team like this one, which would be the youngest team ever to win the championship, you literally have to go back to the youngest team ever to win the championship, which was 1977, the Portland Trail Blazers, Bill Walton. And so that is not the history of the NBA. This team would be defying history in a huge way if they won the championship. Secondly, Nick, they got 1 star. They got 1. Now, no disrespect to Jalen Williams. I think Chet will definitely become a big star, and Jalen may be a star. Right. Jalen Williams yesterday, 1 game, but 4 for 14, 16 points. Chet Holmgren, 4 for 10, 10 points. You know, who is that? You really telling me 1 star who, as great as he is a 6'5", 6'6" guard, is going to outdo LeBron James and Luka Doncic together? That's a big ask. And so I think it's a flaw. Maybe next year I think they will be championship ready. I'd be shocked if they won the championship.
So I wouldn't be shocked. I still think I think them, the Celtics, and the Lakers are in a tier here. And the Celtics might be in the top of that tier, but in a tier here, then there's a big gap. Then I would kind of have the Warriors by themselves, and then another big gap, and then like Cavs and like the Nuggets out of just respect for Joker, but I think the Nuggets might be totally cooked. More on them in a bit. I think the one comp, it wouldn't be age, but as far as win 1 playoff series together, would that be the 2015 Warriors? Like they had
played a few.
They had multiple years in the playoffs, so they'd never been to a conference finals. Right. But regardless, it certainly would, if not unprecedented, close to it. I'm going to add 2 other concerns I have for them. You alluded to one of them. That Rockets game and that Lakers game, and you saw it this week, and it's something I know the NBA and the refs swear this doesn't exist. Van Gundy used to make fun of them for it. Playoff whistle, that's a lie. That's a myth. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Watch games my whole life. No, it's not. And Shea, the history of guys who really, really benefit from being cagey and crafty with the officials and with getting calls, falling off a bit in the playoffs is quite long. Most recently, it's Embiid and Harden. Previously, people used to ascribe it to Chris Paul. I didn't think that was really fair because I thought Chris Paul was awesome in the playoffs. His teams just didn't, they were usually the underdog, but he had some bad overall. But you got a little preview, and even in this game, like one of those, JJ challenged the one where he stuck his leg out.
Like all their challenges.
Yeah, early. Well, there was one when LeBron got fouled by 3 people, and the ref was like offensive foul, and that was, and the other one is this, and this is why I have been more dismissive, not entirely dismissive, but more dismissive than Wilds about the margin of victory stuff, the point differential. My working theory on Oklahoma City, as far as if I don't actually believe, even though I think they can win the title, if I don't actually believe they are a historically great team, how do I account for their historically great season? And my answer is, man, they have such amazing depth and they have such a great roster, 1 through 11 or 12, that when they are playing these, basically every team in the league other than the very best teams, when it's bench unit versus bench unit, you're just going to get boat raced. Because OKC's bench unit could be a bad team's starters. And there's, to me, the data, this data backs that up, which is OKC against, in my opinion, the toughest teams in the West. We can show it. They're 500. Against the rest of the NBA, they are 55-5.
That's big.
Now they are 4-0 against the Clippers, and they are 4-0 against Memphis. But Memphis, I think, is drawing dead essentially.
And the Clippers are a different team now.
Right.
Kawhi's back.
So that to me is, it's not like they can't hang, but to be 500 against one group and win 11 out of 12 against the rest of the league is noteworthy. And
oh my God. It is not noteworthy. It is how I am so dumbfounded by something like this. I need a second, because oh my God. Okay, you can do this. Guys, when you're playing a sport like basketball, where you have a lot of games, where you have 82 games, and you have a major distribution of talent, of teams that are great, good, okay, downright awful. I mean, it's such a problem. That's why they literally have tanking issues in the lottery, etc., etc. Of course, when you're a great team like the Thunder, you're going to dominate the bad teams, because the bad teams, or just even the average teams, are just, the Thunder are so much better that of course you're going to crush them, and that's how you're going to get a 55-5. And when you play the better teams, of course it's going to be more competitive. You're going to be closer to about 500. Do you think a team like the Thunder, or any team for that matter, will consistently, reliably be able to beat the best teams at a 70-80% clip? Of course not. Especially during the regular season, when you're in it for the long haul. So yeah, you're gonna get 9-9. Do you expect them to be 15-3 against the top teams in the NBA? That's not how this works. That's not how this works. So a graphic like this is so insane and so absurd and so misleading and so not worth bringing up. It's so insane. I'm not acting here that the OKC have, a one-way ticket to win the championship this year. I'm not saying that. I've talked about their youth for a lot. But a graphic like this just makes my head want to explode. Makes my head absolutely want to explode. Because then what would be a good enough record for you? I'd love to know. 10-8, 12-6. What's the record that you want to see? A few more wins, and then you're like, yeah, well, they have a 600 win percentage. What would be good enough? Because it's not going to be close to the 55-5. Basketball has too much of a fall off there. I mean, OKC's practically got 3 times the amount of wins as some of these teams out there. That's how bad basketball gets in the NBA. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. This is just comically, hilariously absurd. It really is. And is the performance more fluke or flaw? Like I talked about in my previous video, when focusing on the Lakers, guys, this is what you get at the end of the season. When everyone knows playoffs are right around the corner. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And when you're the number one team like OKC is, you know it. You feel it. You're just not going as hard. You're just not. People can deny it all they want, but they're not. And again, the coaching staff is going to say, hey, we know Los Angeles really needs this win. We know that they're doing everything they can to beat us right now. Like, they are going to bring a level of intensity. They're playing playoff level of intensity. And some games you're going to say, we got to match that. And other games we're going to say, hey, they need this game way more than us. Let's be smart out there, okay? Let's not get too chippy. Let's not get ourselves hurt. We got to, this game is essentially meaningless for us. And again, you're not going to necessarily downright say that because as a coaching staff, you're never going to tell the players, this game doesn't matter. Who cares? But everyone feels it to a large degree. It's just different levels of incentives here. And so you have OKC who's shooting like really poorly. You have the Lakers who are shooting, season high numbers. And so you get this game. It's a perfect collection of causes and conditions to give a game like this. Again, we don't have to make something more out of nothing. We don't have to invent stuff all the time just for the sake of media. We don't always have to invent stuff. Not everything is the biggest moment. It's the biggest problem with talking about basketball. Because we constantly want to try to make everything out to be the biggest thing ever. The Lakers won this game, and now Nick is like saying, this team is on a whole nother level than all the other teams. It's like, really? Sure. Why? Because LeBron's daddy? Luka's daddy? Like, what are we doing here? And OKC has a bad game, and it's like, it's over. It's done. Not good enough. I mean, look what they do against the good teams versus the bad teams. Okay. Sure. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. I don't know. There's nothing more to be said, honestly. Nothing more needs to be said. Just overreaction Monday. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about OKC's performance? Do you think it was more fluke or flaw? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.